Text 8. There you go.
Lovely, WWF. Okay, for most people, completing a marathon would be a phenomenal achievement. I'll be over the moon if I actually make it alive over the finishing line of my 10k run. But for Mark Cooper, it's all in a day's work. Last month, he stripped Eddie Izzard of his marathon record when he completed 50 marathons in 56 days in tribute for his late mother. Mark joins us now to tell us story. Mark, welcome to the hour. What an achievement, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
Well done, you.
I know, you've broken this world record, but why, why 50 marathons in 56 days?
The idea came about in 2009. I cycled Lands and John O'Groats with a work colleague, and ever since then I decided I was a bit addicted to the adventure, and I decided I wanted to do something to remember in memory of my mum and for the charity that helped my mum and my family at that time.
So tell us a story about your mum, because you lost your mum, didn't you, when you were quite young?
Yeah, I was 14. It was in 1997. My mum went to work, and then next time I seen her, she was on life support in the hospital. So and you know what happens every day all over the world, and it's a kind of thing that just has to happen. But it's like, it definitely changes you as a person, and it definitely changed me.
It's terrible when you lose your mum at any age, but especially 14, for a teenager to lose his mum at that kind of vulnerable stage in your life. What happened to you in the kind of months and years after that? I mean, would you say you went a bit off the rails because of it?
Yeah, I think that's, there's either way you can go. That's generally the most common path that people take when something like that happens. And I have a great family behind me. My dad's an absolute legend. But sometimes you do tend to go a bit off the rails, and I did go that direction slightly. I wasn't too wild, but there was a few hairy moments. And then I left school, I'd done my 9 to 5, and it's just a point in my life I did realise, what am I doing here? And had a bit of an epiphany outside work and decided to take up fitness.
Well, you didn't have to take up fitness, you've done all these marathons, but why this particular route? Because you ran, it was Amsterdam to Barcelona, wasn't it? Why that particular route?
Well, I had a friend who was living in Murcia in Spain. She was a teacher there, and my original idea was to run the north of Spain and right around the coast, and then spend a couple of weeks with her in Spain. And then my girlfriend looked a route up online that was existing for cyclists, and it was Amsterdam to Barcelona, which worked out 1,311 miles, which is of course 50 marathons. So it was just perfect.
When you go to start preparing for a marathon, I know you said you'd cycled. what is your training like? How do you even begin? Do you have to find a marathon route at home where you live?
Well, I knew the route for the Edinburgh Marathon well. I've done a lot of 10Ks and half marathons around about Scotland, so I knew the routes well. But it was more a case of just running everywhere. I went from running 40 miles for fun every week to running 80 to 100 miles. On top of having a 9 to 5, it's a lot of hard work. But it's what I love to do now, and it's who I am. I'm a runner now, and I didn't find it a chore at all. So I used to get up before work at 5, run like 13 miles, and then I'd run home from work, which is 4 miles, and then another 10 miles at night, easy. It's just what I love to do.
Let's take you into this big adventure, and let's get outside the studio now and see you when you cross the border from France into Spain. Take a look.
I'm in Spain! Woo! Oh, it's windy up here. I am at the col, which means the top of Las Islas, which is the border with Spain and France. How unbelievable. But I cannot believe I've run all the way from Amsterdam and I'm now in Spain. Come on. It's a really special moment for me.
Wow.
A special moment, a high point probably as well. What about the low points? There must have been points in it where you just thought, what am I doing?
There were certain points. After the 4th marathon, I had severe pain in my left ankle, and I had to go see a physio in Eindhoven. And he worked his magic. I can't thank the man highly enough for the work he'd done. I don't know what he'd done, he just taped my ankle up. The next day I went to running, no pain whatsoever.
But what do you do? People talk about this wall that they hit when they're running. You're running on your own, which I think must be quite difficult if you've got no one there to kind of cheer you on. How do you get through that?
I've never hit the wall once in my life, and I've run 71 marathons.
Never?
Never hit the wall.
I ran half a mile the other night and thought I'd been hit by a brick wall. You've never hit the wall?
I've never hit the wall, and I don't know if it's down to luck, but I have a lot. I have good nutritional products that I use, which do help aid me in that a lot. And I think the more training you do, I hit the wall at the first of my training, kind of. I suppose I must have. There was some times where I start running after 3 miles, and I felt like I'd run all day. But you just keep going, and they talk about breaking through the wall, and I think everybody's got that in them to do it.
So much of this is psychological rather than physical. What got you through it? Was your mum with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, before I'd left Scotland, I was in my girlfriend's house, and there's a story you get about you know, if a white feather lands in an unknown place, it's someone coming to visit you who's passed away. And a white feather had actually landed on my shoulder in my girlfriend's house, and you kind of thought, well, where's that come from? She said, that's your mum. And I didn't buy into it, and then the second last night in Lorette de Mar, end of Marathon 49, I was sitting on the balcony, and my girlfriend came out, and I'd just been thinking about my mum, and she said, there's a white feather on your shoulder.
And you didn't even know it was there?
Yeah. And she went, that's your mum.
I believe in that too.
I do believe in it now, because there's no explanation for it whatsoever.
It was just there.
So that's one of the things that got me through it, yeah, absolutely.
Another thing that got you through, I know, is you've got this kind of superstition, you have a cheese toastie before you go off on your run.
You're actually the first people to know about this. The closest people to me don't even know about this. And I don't manage to...
Don't worry, we won't tell anyone, just the nation knows now, it's fine.
I don't manage to do it every time, but when I was training especially, I'd be at home the night before and I had cheese on toast, yeah.
Was that your little treat?
That was my little treat.
Wonder food.
I'm not going to lie, you kind of deserve it after running like 50 marathons.
Yeah, I
about
think
cheese
so.
and toast.
So you've done 50 marathons. I guess that's it. You're not running anymore. You finished with all that stuff, yeah? No.
Never, no. The day I got back to Edinburgh, I took part in a race, so it's in my blood now, you know, it's what I want to do, and I'm just going to push it harder and harder, and I have a world record attempt at the end of this month, so...
Wow, and I'm doing you're doing the 10K as well, aren't you?
In September, yeah.
This is going to be a bracey as you bolt by me as I've just started off. Do you have any tips for me? I mean, I'm not a runner, I'm not like you, but I really do want to try and run it and not walk it, because it is only 6.2 miles.
Yeah.
Any tips?
Just stick to your pace that you set out to do, don't get carried away, and if there's people passing you, don't worry about it. It's the fact that you finish is the main thing, so...
All right, okay.
Do you know, what a nice interview and what a lovely bloke. You're a real inspiration
You really
to everyone
are,
out there, and your mum would be dead proud of you. Mark Cooper, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very, very much.
Okay, right, so summer